I would first like to acknowledge that National Women's Week, which was officially launched at the Church of the Holy Trinity yesterday. There are a number of activities planned for the next 14 days in New Providence and throughout the Family Islands. Grand Bahamas event will take place in the form of a conference for 12th grade females at the Kenai Media Center in Freeport at 9:30, and I do invite all those who are available to attend. The name of the event is called GirlCon 2017. We anticipate this event being an annual event, and it really is to encourage all of the senior females that are graduating this year. We encourage females and leaders of NGOs to attend and participate in the planned events. National Women's Week throughout the country is a very important event as far as I am concerned, and it really acknowledges the work that women have done all throughout the country. And of course, it reminds us of the role that women will play and continue to play in the national development, particularly as we represent half of the world's population. And in this country, we represent more than half of the voting bloc in the Bahamas. And that's something very significant that I trust that all women would certainly appreciate and understand the power of the females and women in this country. Messages from the Governor General. Messages from the House of Assembly.
Message from the House of Assembly.
Bahamas number 5. Message to the Honorable the President and Honorable members of the Senate from the Speaker and representatives of the Honorable House of Assembly. The House of Assembly acquaints the Honorable the Senate that they have passed the following bill and desire the consent of that Honorable Chamber, namely, a bill for an act for the designation of specified commercial enterprises and specified commercial economic zones in the Bahamas. House of Assembly, Nassau, 22nd November 2017. Halson Mutri, Speaker.
Laying of documents by ministers. Communication by ministers. Oh, sorry. That's it. Communications by senators. Questions. Answers to questions. Presentations of petitions. Appointment of select committees. Report of committees. The chair acknowledges Senator the Honorable Jasmine Darius.
Madam President, I beg leave to report that the committee appointed by you to wait on Her Excellency the Governor General to inform Her Excellency that the Senate had agreed to a resolution thanking Her Excellency for her most gracious speech with which Her Excellency was pleased to open this session of Parliament, waited on Her Excellency on Friday, November 2017, and was received by Her Excellency at 4 p.m. This committee consisted of the Honorable Senator the Honorable Renard Henfield, Senator the Honorable Jobeth Kobe Davis, and myself, Jasmine Turner Darius, and we are pleased to report that your committee successfully carried out its duty.
Order that the document be brought up. Well, you need to move it forward. Order that the document do lie on the table. Further reports from committees. Further reports from committees. First reading of bills. The chair recognizes Senator the Honorable Carl Bethel.
Madam President, as I stand to move for the first reading of the Commercial Enterprises Bill, I take the right I have to make a few comments on its content. This is a bill that is designed to attract to the Bahamas financial services, businesses, and enterprises which are not presently located in the Bahamas, which for a host of competitive reasons, persons have determined that they would place in competitive jurisdictions within this Caribbean region, and which, through this initiative, we hope to encourage, in some cases, to return to the Bahamas, such as the captive insurance industry, which was invented in the Bahamas and which we lost in 1970 because of the actions of the very first PLP administration. They just packed up and left. And the Cayman Islands have been saying forever they really should put a statue to Lyndon up to celebrate. No. I am able to state what the intent of this bill is. It is my right to deal with the bill. I am not attacking pending. I don't attack those.
Okay,
It's
senators.
a fact.
Excuse
It's a
me.
fact.
Senators. Senator, could you take your seat for a minute?
No, I got
Now, this morning, we're at first reading. The debate is not here and now, so please, we are at first reading.
It is a fact, Madam President, that the Bahamas invented the captive insurance business. It is a fact, Madam President, that in 1970 we lost it all due to decisions taken by the first Pending administration. Whether you like it or not, those are facts. Facts are not subject to controversy. Facts are facts. Now, Madam President, the intent of this bill is that it would place the Bahamas in a position to compete, to receive businesses that presently avoid the Bahamas like the plague and go and locate elsewhere in jurisdictions that are not as well suited, in jurisdictions that are more expensive in terms of rentals, in jurisdictions that are more expensive than rentals, but because of the rigidities in the Bahamas, they don't come here. So it is to address this issue and to improve the competitiveness of the Bahamas. And the bill, as amended below in the other house, is such that it will be open to those hundreds of Bahamians who are working abroad in high-tech industries and in financial services, if they desire to come home in a business sense and set up business in thousands. I was on a radio show with Carlton Smith, and his nephew is working in biometrics.
Hi, Senator, would you please take your seat? What is your point of order, Senator Mitchell? The point of order.
The point of order is that this is not the time for the debate.
I'm not explaining the bill. It is my right to explain the bill.
No, the senator is, sorry, the senator's on. The senator is getting into contentious material. There's also a rule against anticipation. You're not supposed to anticipate what the debate is, and that's what you're doing at this point.
They don't rule against
I thought you were
anticipation.
going to
I
say
am able to
the
explain
provisions
the
of the
bill.
bill are X, Y, and Z. That's all
Senator.
we need to hear.
Yeah.
Thank you, Senator.
I am able to explain the bill. In the place below, the bill was amended to provide not only that non-Bahamians are entitled to come in under it and to receive the benefits.
Senator, take your seat for a minute for me, please. Just 1 minute, please. Senators, I am going to allow the AG to present the first reading of the bill. I'm going to continue to allow the AG to do some explanation that should not be of a contentious nature, and I would ask him to be guided accordingly. Secondly, Senator Mitchell and side opposite, as President of the Senate, I will be as fair as I need to be as it relates to what's happening in the Senate today. I will speak on the adjournment on a few matters as well. This is not to be contentious, Senators, so let's just move forward And
Factual.
AG, could you please be guided? So,
Thank you. Madam President, once again, this bill has been amended to provide the same rights for Bahamians working in high-tech industries and in financial services abroad, performing functions they cannot perform in their own country because those businesses do not come to the Bahamas. And those Bahamians will be able to come back home on the same terms as any non-Bahamian, and will, in the amendment to the bill that was passed in the House, placed below. And had you, sir, been never mind, I won't be contentious. I'll just say that in the House, in the House of Assembly, a movement was made and passed which extended the opportunities to benefit from this act to Bahamians without any kind of capital commitment, and to non-Bahamians who form a joint venture with a Bahamian without any kind of capital commitment, as well as to non-Bahamians who, if they're coming alone, have a capital commitment. The amendment will be moved at the appropriate time. If you wish, I will circulate a copy of the movement to you in advance of the meeting. It is before the Senate. The House. I can speak to what the bill that was passed in the House states. Oh, please. Madam President.
Senators,
I'm not
would you
to be
please-
harassed by this member. I ask the protection of the chair not
Yes.
to be harassed by this member.
listen to me. There is no harassment going on, but there is a debate ensuing which should not be happening. Okay? So, as I said before, excuse me, as I said before, senators, I hate when I'm the president of this chair to get loud and have to be so loud because it's really, it tends to be a little bit unprofessional. But I need everybody to really understand that this ought not be contentious at this point. In fact, when we come back to debate this bill, it should not be contentious. There's been a lot of discussion about this bill in the lower house. There's been a lot of discussion about this bill in the public domain. This is a very serious piece of legislation. And I hope when we return that each senator is in a position to debate this bill with the level of maturity that is necessary for the public to understand what is going on with this bill. So please continue, AG.
Thank you, Madam President.
Or Senator.
Yes, the bill will allow the in-house professionals of any approved entity, if the enterprise is approved, and the way it is approved is very simple. The proposer of the business has to make an application to the Bahamas Investment Authority and obtain a permit, a certificate from that authority. That authority will not issue a certificate until there is essentially a contract between the proposer and the government that details the nature of the business, the location of the business, the amount of persons that are being employed. Of that amount of persons, how many will require work permit, and it would only be for senior management or in-house professionals, and how many Bahamians will be trained and empowered, and whose capacity in the relative industry is going to be increased as a result of the investment. In other jurisdictions, they have terms such as how many of their residents will be employed, or how many scholarships are given. Okay? This bill is limited. It's to explain the words of the bill. This bill is limited. This bill is limited to capacity building. Capacity building of Bahamians. Don't fob us off on scholarships. We want them in that business, learning the highest levels of skills. That is the intent of this bill. There's one other concern that has been expressed elsewhere that is out there, and it's to do with professionals and Bahamian professionals. The fact is, in the terms of this bill, all professionals are limited to the four walls of their building or their office to performing only the skills necessary for that business in-house. That is why the word in-house professionals is used. Any professional coming to the Bahamas is also, and this is the catch-all, bound to observe the rules of any professional association governing or regulating those professions. So, lawyers cannot, as a matter of course, be called to the bar under the Legal Professions Act. The Legal Professions Act determines that. The fact that someone may work as a lawyer within the four corners of a business will not entitle that person to apply for call or to receive a call to the bar or to practice outside the door of that business. Madam President, just a very I will note that the opposition, through its leader, has issued a statement doing a
Now,
Anyway, I propose to answer them in the debate, but I will also answer him today in another forum.
that's
the only
fine,
point
but
I'm
we
making.
are not
I'm reserving
debating.
the point on that.
We're not debating.
No, I know we're not debating, and I'm not
Okay.
answering him in detail on that.
That's fine.
But I will answer him today on
We're-
that, okay?
That's your choice outside
Okay.
of the Senate.
Okay. No, I just give notice that I will. Now, Madam President, it is with pleasure that I beg leave to move the first reading of the Commercial Enterprises Bill 2017, also known as a bill for an act for the designation of specified commercial enterprises and specified commercial economic zones in the Bahamas. If I may obtain a seconder.
I rise to second, Madam President.
It has been moved and seconded.
Seconded?
I rise to second, Madam President.
Oh, okay.
It has been moved and seconded. All those in favor would say aye. Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Pardon? The bill to be read a first time. Further first readings? Further first readings.
Madam President, no further first readings. I welcome that proposed amendment. I welcome that. Madam President, as foreshadowed, we want to try and synchronize the Senate more closely with the House. So hopefully, I would like to move the adjournment at this stage, so that this is suspension at this stage, so that when we next meet, we will at the same time table the bill presently being debated by the House, as opposed to having to come a day and then adjourn to debate it, okay? So we'll get a proper synchronization between, as much as we can do, between the Senate and the House of Assembly. We'll move smoother and have fewer days like this, where we have to just come for one thing. So, Madam President, with that, on that note, that I think we'll meet with some broad agreement opposite. I move that the business of the Senate be suspended until Monday, the 4th day of December, 2017, if I may obtain a second. At 10 o'clock in the forenoon. Thank you very much, Leader Opposite. Thank you.
It has been moved and seconded that the Senate do suspend to 10 a.m. December 4th, 2017. All those in favor would say aye.
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 Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The Senate is suspended to 10 a.m. December 4th, 2017.